One murder every 30.5 minutes. One robbery every 1.7 minutes. One assault every 21.7 minutes. And over 85,000 active missing people. Crime happens anywhere and anytime. Thousands of unsolved cases causing time to stand still for its victims. The crime clock is ticking. The alarm has sounded. It's time for crime time.
And it's time for crime time again. Yeah, I'm here.
Everyone.
Here we go,
Hi,
Stacy Smith. There's Sarah Block, and this is Jerry Dean. And we have a different kind of story to talk to you about today. It kind of goes along the line of the Missing Texas 40. Now, the Missing Texas 40 is a group of 40 plus people that are missing from Montgomery and the adjacent county, Liberty County, Texas. And I stumbled across this story about back in 2010 when I was talking to Jerry Kinner, and he had lost his brother, Larry Baker, was missing, and they haven't been able to find him. And it turned out that there was another young man, Ronnie Stokely, that went missing in Plum Grove Road in Cleveland, Texas. And then there was a third person. So there's like 3 people from this one area that went missing. And as I started doing the research, I found out there was more and more. And even more research there, I found out that there was a lot that were not even kept track of. The police didn't have any records of them. There was nothing on the internet, so I had to rely on a lot of people coming forward and telling me that their family member was missing. So between Montgomery County and Liberty County, I ended up with over 40 people. The last one was Steve Dean, would make it at 47 people missing, starting back around the 1980s. And what's kind of different about this whole scenario is that these people haven't come back. They go missing and then that's it. I tried to find some commonality by age, sex, what they were doing. The only thing I'd really come up with was they were all alone. But that usually is the case when you have missing people. They're all alone just before they go missing.
Jerry, is proximity, but they live in the same proximity? Is that a commonality? In county, we have about 18 to 20, I would say about 18 in Liberty County, and then next door is Montgomery County, and the rest of them are missing from that area. Now, I could even branch out even more. And I say San Jacinto, but because that's the way you say it in California, but you guys probably say Jacinto, right? Right.
Okay, you use the J. Over in California, all the J's are H's.
So I live closer to there, so Stacy, I call it San Jacinto County. San Jacinto, that here in Texas.
Yeah. And and there's a lot that are missing from that area. And then Harris County, it's out of this world, a lot of people missing. And if I want to spend all my time doing the research, I'm sure I could come up with a really long list for the missing in Harris County and San Jacinto County. But it's just like, when do you stop? It's all in this particular area, and you could even branch out a little bit more to these other counties, but it's just a lot of people. And when I wrote up the story, you can go to Missing Persons of America and look up in the search box Missing Texas 40, and you'll see the post that I put up years ago, and explains where I got all my information from and how I got the information in the first place. And it is strange to me that although I've had a lot of people approach me and ask me questions about it, that when it goes back to the authorities, when you go and talk to them, they will not admit that there's that many people missing from that area. But then on the other side, you've got these families that are missing these people. And a lot of these cases, they go back to the...
How do they explain it, Jerry?
They don't. The media has gone back. Yeah, well, they come and talk to me, and then the media goes and talks to the police, and they go, well, there's not that many people missing. Or, that's not our numbers. So I got this list, and you'd think that they'd go look at it or something, but they haven't. And so there's something going... Yeah, they don't. So there's something going on over there. I don't know what it is. And at one point, I was able to go up to Cleveland a couple times and talk to the families of the missing people. And you can see one of the videos on the Missing Texas 40 post. And also on YouTube, you can see those videos also. And when I wanted to go up there to get a feel of what the area was. So when I were writing up posts, I would have some kind of reference to go by. And
I just wanted to know how creepy it was.
Well, I had a lot of people tell me, be careful. And I think I actually say in the video that people told me to be careful, but I didn't seem to have any real problem. It was just kind of over there in Plum Grove Road. I had people looking at me and stuff, but I'm sure wondering what the heck I was doing over there.
Did you go by yourself, Jerry?
No, I took my husband with me.
Oh, okay.
So we went.
I was just trying to get myself wrapped around what you did there.
Yeah, I just did the video. I just winged it. I wanted to document all this stuff. I wanted to show everybody else what I was talking about too. So I was going down the roads and showing it. But since we're talking right about it now, I wanted also to show the view of what the streets and everything. And the one thing that really struck out to me was over there by Wells Road. I believe that I've got the name right. There was a tire factory over there where they dumped all these tires, and mounds are huge and tall. And all I can think of, if you want to get rid of a body, you could put them over there, and who's going to go look for them over there, and who's going to get the tires off and stuff?
Do not give anyone any ideas over there.
I suppose that was. I'm sure they've already thought about this long before I did, but it was different. That's for sure. I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, and I was making light of that.
Yeah, I know. I know you were.
In all seriousness, I know that the reason that you went is because you care about this, and that you're trying to get some answers for these missing people, and I think that that's courageous of you, Jerry, because really basically what you're doing is you're being a voice for these missing, and I believe that should be done, because there's got to be an explanation.
For
what's happened. We're talking about human lives here.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Even the Larry Baker case, his brother had made comments before. I didn't think anybody else cared. He probably feels like he's the only one in the world that is like, hey, you found this skull. Tell me, is it my brother? I know it's my brother. Just do your medical thing and tell me. Now, what about where are the rest of the bones? Now, who used the tractor to bury it? So if they think no one else cares and there's no justice, then what would it do if it was us that were that pile of bones, or our family member?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's a lot of.
Absolutely, I think that's a good point, because we do need to. This is when we start covering these cases, we have to separate ourselves somewhat so that we can try to be unbiased. But
yeah, that's true.
That is a good point. That is someone's family member. That's someone's. It's someone's brother. It's someone's son, and so the human side of it. And so we don't want to completely, cut ourselves off from that, but just to keep on and to be able to be objective and try to bring, be as fair as we can to the situation. We do have to kind of separate ourselves a little bit, but I think that that's a good point. These people have to have lost some hope, and there's no answers for them, and it's a real tragedy.
Yeah, well, that I think so too.
Yes.
So just the other day, to wrap that part up, we're always looking to try to figure out what happened to these people, if there's a serial killer over there, if it's just a big coincidence. And I also go about the odds. I talk about the odds in that article, Missing Texas 40 article, about Alaska's supposed to have the most missing people, the whole state. And it doesn't even mount up to how many are missing from those two counties. It's just you think somebody would want to go over there and look it up and see what's going on. It's so bizarre. So leading up to this, the reason I'm bringing this up is because I would like to branch out to some more counties, but I just don't have the manpower to do it. But this story came up a couple days ago about this body that was found in a barrel in Shepherd, Texas.
Yeah, I had my little map open. You probably can't see it very well, but I was trying to show the lines of how it's a neighboring county, San Jacinto.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
Where Cleveland and Liberty County is just just shy south of where that.
So we're
Shepherd,
talking
Texas,
about right there in the same general
area.
Yeah.
vicinity.
We're focusing on there's some borderline county areas here.
Right.
You know, when you start looking at the statistics of this, Jerry, you know, I'm glad you brought that up. When, you know, you said that about Alaska, and I did not know that. I mean, when you're looking at it in that magnitude, now, of course, Texas is a large state. When you're looking at this, these counties say, the counties that you're looking at, I mean, what size? Can you compare that to another state or something to where we can get an idea of these counties, how big? I mean, are you talking about maybe the size of Louisiana, or are you talking about...
It's all in that article. Let me bring it up here. Something. I'll show you a picture, and that might help you get a little bit of association with what we're talking about.
I know that I'm asking a lot of questions, but you've really got my interest piqued up because, I mean, you know me, I'm the inquisitive one, and I want to know why, and I'm kind of baffled, which I know is what probably started you out on this journey, and I didn't realize this. These are new facts to me, and so I'm kind of baffled, and I want answers as well.
Stacy, now you kind of, while she's looking for that page, that's part of how, she's sharing the page.
I've got to get it up here in just a second. There we go.
We never discussed, I guess we never discussed this part of how, you both talked about that, you were, part of the Texas Missing 40 and stuff, but I guess we never went on to that next step about the background of that. I'm learning as we do this.
Yeah, you'll have to go check out the Missing Texas 40 website. I moved into Montgomery County, Texas in 2011. I think Jerry published her Texas Missing 40 website and spin-off Facebook group for Missing Persons of America. I think that was 2012.
Yeah, I see it up here.
So you would think that I would have, here I was in a new place looking at crime and what kind of environment was I raising my children, what were the risks, how are the schools, how are the neighborhoods.
Everything that you're supposed to look at as a parent.
So here I am trying to be aware and pay attention. I guess I did start a certain job around 2012, but long story short, I had done my research the year that we moved here. Before moving here and while freshly here, I never ran across anything about concerns of missing persons per capita for this county or a neighboring county. So there was only a couple months after living here, October 2011, I had seen a missing persons flyer at my local pharmacy, and I thought, well, that's strange that young man in his 20s who was, at the bars with friends and was going to get a ride home instead of driving his father's truck to not wreck it. That was the TJ Murray case. So I had kind of been following, when are they going to find TJ Murray, and learning that his dad was a coach at the local high school. So I'm just paying attention to my local news and local flyers. And then whenever I had searched Spring, Texas, I had run across the Allie Lowitzer case that was actually Harris County, but it's still Spring, Texas, not too far from southern Montgomery County, Texas, part of Spring. So I was just paying attention to Spring. Then whenever I ran across, I don't know, there would be so many, like Jerry says, like if you really open it up to Harris County, or open it up to the Houston metropolitan in general, and then you open it up to the big cities in Texas or just Texas, it's overwhelming. So I really admire how she follows national cases and posts about national ones. There's so many. For me, I just started regularly following, I was looking at Texas, but then I started noticing, wow, what is this Texas Missing 40 and Missing Persons of America? And I made the connection, oh, well, interesting. Whoever's running this national website, they seem like they shared something on this Texas one, and then I dug a little deeper and saw they were connected, so I started following both, and I didn't even know it was the same person behind it.
I kind of did that on purpose, yeah.
And I thought, where is this lady located? It sounds like she's a Californian.
I know.
Tracking all this Texas stuff.
Oh,
So anyway,
I got in a lot of trouble, too, because I asked everybody what a Heb was.
Mr. Henry E. Butt.
They got so mad at me. I said, I'm sorry. I'm good. I'm getting to Texas.
Listen,
it just took me a while.
Serious here in Texas.
What do you possibly buy at the hell?
Now I say it just to annoy my son.
I mean, Sarah, it's just, man, I guess I don't know how I missed this, because you had even gave me a little bit of background about you and how you, but I wasn't realizing what you were referencing. It wasn't until just earlier, as we were talking about this, that I realized the magnitude that you were talking about, just in sheer numbers, about the amount of people in one area. And I mean, I'm going to have to say, I agree that, I mean, there's something that there's an unknown here. And what I want to know is, anytime when you start talking about that kind of numbers, the only other time that I can kind of think about that I've heard of something like this was the situation that was over by El Paso. There was this large amount of women that were going missing, and people.
Yeah, I did a story on that. Yeah, but Sarah, you were going to finish up what you were saying right there, and I interrupted you. Go ahead.
Well, I was just leading up to how when Jerry was making a reference to her creating the spinoff of the Texas Missing 40 related to the Cleveland, Texas Liberty County case, and I see how we have little cities bordering like Tomball, Texas, or when you for Texas, they might be in another county, but it's like, yeah, but it's still all the same.
Yes, but and when you're talking about like getting in your car and driving, it is still right there. I mean, you could see where if there was a group of people or an individual that was responsible for these things, that it would be very easy for them to move into that territory, or for that to be someplace that they frequent.
So can you see my little cursor moving around?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yes.
So look, there's Liberty, there's Cleveland, there's Liberty, there's Montgomery. Look, there's Shepherd. Yeah. Right there.
Okay.
So there's Shepherd.
Oh, wow. You're talking about just right there.
It's right there. And so down here is Houston. See Houston?
Yes.
Okay, there's Houston. So Montgomery's right above it. Liberty's over there. There's Shepherd. What I'm going to bring up next is, let me go down here and then I'll click out of here. But right here.
For taking the time to do this, because I mean, this is really making this all come together for me. There's a lot of males that are on this, so much of the time, it seems like that it's women or children. And on this list, it seems like that and so that is something that really needs to be looked at. Why?
So in Shepherd, Texas, they found this man that was in the barrel. And the family is saying that it's likely Kirk Buick, B-U-I-K, and he went missing from Shepherd, Texas, July 2019. Now, you'll refer back to the map. You can see that Shepherd, Texas was right about where the Missing Texas 40 is located.
Yes.
So when I was doing the research on this information, it was I got some information back in August about a Greenwood. And when this story broke, where they found the body in the barrel, the Greenwood name came up again. I contacted some people that I knew and asked them for some information, and it turned out that the Matthew David Greenwood that was arrested along with Jack Wayne Gonzalez and Matthew David Greenwood, they were arrested for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. As up to this point, I don't think they've been arrested for murder or anything, but they were on the property where the barrel was dug up. And that's as much as they have been arrested for at this point in time. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing this so I can do that and see you guys. So what I found out is that Matthew David Greenwood, back in 1978, was arrested for murder, along with his brother, William Greenwood. So Matthew, who goes by David, was 16 years old at the time, and his brother William was 20 years old at the time, and they both were arrested and admitted to killing a 14-year-old girl and I believe it was 36-year-old woman. Let me go back up on this and tell you exactly. So the 14-year-old was Lucille DeBord, who happened to be David's girlfriend at the time. And the other one was Diana Rose Hall, and she was 29. So with more research, I was able to find some articles that talked about what happened, how they had driven around until in their car, and then they found somebody to rape, and that turned out to be Diane Rose Hall. 2 counts of murder have been filed against William Thad Greenwood, 20, and 2 brothers are in custody in connection with the death. Greenwood, 16-year-old brother who is from Highlands, is being held in juvenile ward, and Sheriff Lieutenant Tommy Klobosky said authorities hope the courts will certify him as an adult so formal charges can be filed. So the 2 brothers admitted they killed Miss DeBord, who was 14, and Mrs. D. Hall, 30, who also was from Baytown. They believe that Mrs. Hall was killed May 22nd in 1978, and then afterwards Lucille was killed. I mean, I start reading this stuff and I get really down in the dumps and sad because it's a horrible, horrible thing. And the more you read about it, there's more details about what happened, and it was rapes and the murder and the torture, and it's just absolutely horrible. So William goes to jail and he does his time, and he's let out after 12 years. And I've heard different accounts. I haven't had anything like an article to back up what I'm saying here, but David was let out. Now, one account was he was let out after 8 years, so he would have been past 16. Another account shows that they were waiting for him to be an adult so they could charge him as an adult, but I don't know if that ever happened or not. So life goes on, and here we are now in the year of 2019, and a body is found on the property that David Greenwood is living on.
And that's just no coincidence. I mean, it's just, I think it's going to answer a lot of questions.
So I received a letter, after I posted the story and everything, I received a letter from the daughter of William. And she wanted to say her side of the story, and she was telling me, so I thought I would let everybody else know about what she said. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm going to read some of it. She said she's writing on behalf of her William's wife and his son and her, which would have been the daughter of William. And she wanted the name removed from the article. My mom wanted you to tell them that they need to stop putting William into this. He's not involved in what Matthew David Greenwood did. To please stop. They are now bringing another family into it. Don't bring William's family in the middle of this, I guess is what she's saying.
I would associate the 2 brothers and whatever they did in the late 70s.
Yes. The older brother, yeah. From what I read, he molested the granddaughter most of her life. I'm not saying how young she was. Until she was a grown adult.
About from the time the other happened in 1976
78.
So from 1978, and then yet again in 2018, he's convicted of another sexual type, predatorial type behavior. And so,
yeah. So she says that the article you posted over his brother, Matthew Greenwood, is out of line to bring my dad into it. So she's upset because he's brought into it. He didn't have shit to do with this. As you stated, he's serving 5,000 years, which is exactly what it does say, that he's serving 5,000 years. But she says, really, come on, he got life without parole. All right, either way. She's also afraid that putting the information out there that Matthew will end up with a mistrial or will end up always in what they call an appeal because he's not going to get a fair trial because everybody knows about his past, and that's what all Williams' attorney has said, plus the DA is screwed in that county now. Please think about the people that love him before throwing that crap out there. What I did put is facts as actually as they are, what is going on. And I really do feel that the people do have the right to know about this.
Matthew David's trial being fair? not the guy that's...
Yeah, she's saying, well, of course, because he's already gone through a trial and he's already been prosecuted. So she's talking about, she says that Matthew Greenwood's trial is not going to be fair because it will end up as a mistrial, or it will end up always in what they call appeal, because he's not going to get a fair trial because everybody knows about his past. And that's what Ola Williams' attorney has said. Plus, the DA is screwed in that county now. Did you follow that?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Actions or associations. I don't know how innocent Matthew David Greenwood is or not, but he's been arrested for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, just like Jack Wayne Gonzalez is. And I don't know anything about this Jack Wayne Gonzalez, so until there is a trial, we actually don't know who did what and how Kurt Buick, which has pending identification for a potentially hatcheted, dismembered body that got put in that barrel sometime in July, that just got discovered recently. We're not holding a trial here or pointing fingers at who's a good guy or not. What if all these guys are good guys? The one in the barrel, the two that held the hatchet, or one of them? We don't know who held the hatchet or who did what or over what. So, yeah, we're not trying to slander anybody's family or name. We're just reading the current police reports on who's been arrested. We're digging up what happened in the past. And so we don't know what's been happening for all these decades. We don't know any rap sheets or how perfect angels someone else has been.
Yeah, it's, and we certainly don't want to hurt anybody's family, but also we have to think about the missing. We have to think about people that might be in jeopardy. They have every right to know this information. One thing that I was alerted to, and I didn't think about it, but I'm getting a lot of responses from people that said they grew up in that neighborhood and they had no idea that all this was going on over there. And they didn't know that this person was who he was. And although some did and kept their children away from that neighborhood, but they were grateful that now they know what was going on over there, and they can, and we don't even know the depth of it. I guess I should also mention that I've also heard rumors that there's more going on over there than that has been brought out. And I can't, and then right now we have to say it's rumors. I can't be specific about it because I don't want to jeopardize anything. That's information that I don't want to jeopardize. But I do feel that people do need to know so they can. Yeah, that's Greenwood's photo.
Okay. When this guy back in 1978, when he was convicted of a sexual type rape and murder, why did he not have to register as an offender? And so why weren't these neighbors aware that this kind of thing was going on? And that's the whole point of making people like that register, and when there's that type of behavior. And so that's a big question. I mean, I realize this is a separate situation, but why don't these people know about what happened in 1978 and that this gentleman lived in this area and that their children could be at some type of risk? None of that makes sense to me. Yeah, I said it, ladies. Things that don't make
sense.
I went there.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe because with the first murder, probably it was before a lot of these laws went in effect, all the way back in 78. But as far as him being prosecuted, I'm talking about William in 2018, they probably do have information out there. But he may not have been living in that area, on that street. He may not have been living with his brother.
Their parents are deceased, but it used to be property owned by their parents.
Yes.
In Shepherd, Texas, San Jacinto. But however, I think when the 1978 crime happened, it was closer to Baytown, the Highlands.
Highlands, yeah.
And which is kind of like all south of like Crosby, Texas. But yeah, you hop on a highway, you could get back up to Liberty County and San Jacinto County pretty fast.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I did actually have some information about the other charges that David Greenwood had picked up over the years. I did run across that, and he so with Gonzalez had some previous drug charges and served some time in jail. And David had some previous, I believe it was burglary charges. I was trying to find out where I did with that information. I'll find it, and then I'll post it up on Crime Time on the Facebook page. So if people want to take a look at it, they can look at it.
It doesn't seem like that those are predatory.
No.
Or,
no, not as far as David goes, and not as far as Gonzalez goes. No.
Well, and that's interesting. I mean, that's something because, as we know, it seems like that people that usually have been convicted of those type charges, that it seems like that a lot of times they repeat that type thing. That does make you go, huh?
Wrong. It does.
Could they have made a mistake in the previous situation? Or is it something to where they just haven't got caught? I don't know. Something is definitely, as Sarah would say, raising an eyebrow.
Yeah, and I want
something's not,
raising an eyebrow. And I want to bring that out again, that Gonzalez and Greenwood both were arrested for aggravated assault, not having anything to do with the body that was found. If charges come later, we'll let you know.
Wait a minute,
but at this point, we don't know.
Aggravated assault against who?
With a deadly weapon, and it did not specify against who.
Well, I'm confused. I'm confused. But it's not against this person that's in the barrel?
Don't know. That's all we have right now. Aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Let me go back and look at the original article.
Which is strange. The person that is in the barrel, they said they were chopped up with a hatchet.
Let me see. I'm going to click to Houston where I got this information. And it says they each charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon with additional charges forthcoming according to investigators. So they're both in the San Jacinto County Jail.
Very good, Jerry. Us Texans are proud of you.
This came from the investigation they did, and when they went over there and did the search on the property, and that's in Shepherd, off of Cherry Creek Road. That is it.
I'm wondering why they've held off on elaborating. I mean, I'm sure they're waiting on some. I mean, I know that they have to wait on reports and DNA testing and this and that, but I just think it's weird that they would go on and arrest them if they didn't already have that, but yet they won't date.
They still got to, but they still have to find out who the body is. Although the family believes it is their family member, they still have to confirm it, the medical examiner, and then I'm sure they have to do a lot of things, a lot of steps.
Maybe they have evidence that they did this to whoever that was, but they just don't know whoever that was.
Yeah, it's very interesting. The officer that did all this research and kept pursuing this, I got hats off to him. He also must have had some really good, reliable information that brought him to the property. And like one person posted here, what sort of moron buries the body on his own property? Yeah, you kind of wonder.
You would be surprised, huh?
Yeah, well, they probably felt that no one was ever going to get a search warrant and come look for him. It's probably what they did.
And that's what one of the first articles I saw was that they smelled a foul odor.
Oh, okay.
White metal barrel on the property while searching for this missing man.
So they knew he was over there.
So unfortunately, the foul-smelling odor led them to look further.
All right. Well, at least we got a response back from the family, and we've addressed that, and I'm sure they're not going to like the way we addressed it, but I'm sorry. It's facts that we put down, and that's what's out there. I mean, it's not just me putting that out there. The information is for anybody to find, and I'm sure as time goes by, it'll come out about all this. And it's not going to have anything to do with Matthew's trial, I'm sure. It won't affect it at all.
Jerry, I mean, and for that matter, I mean, if they feel like that there is something that we need to be aware of, or that we that we haven't ran across in our research, then we try to keep an open mind.
Oh, yeah.
And look at all of the information. And so if there's something that they feel like is pertinent that we need to share, then they're welcome to send us a message or contact us, because we want to be fair and we want to look at
absolutely.
This with an open mind.
Yeah, and that's why I'm specific.
Something that she mentioned was, about that she didn't feel like they were getting, that they would ever have a fair trial or this or that. And so, that there's something that's making this girl feel that way. And so,
well, she loves him. That's her father. Yeah, she's defending her father. I understand that.
But she may have some information that, that we don't know. We may be, there may be something that she could share with us that would make make sense of this for us. And so, we are definitely willing to look at everything. So
yeah, absolutely.
About the victim.
Got 2 minutes.
He was a carpenter by trade, and he was unemployed when he disappeared, working odd jobs. His brother-in-law or stepdaughter had said he did struggle with some addiction problems, doesn't own a car, gets around by bicycle or foot, stays with friends in Shepherd. They had last seen him in a yard in front of an acquaintance there in the Cherry Creek subdivision. So there was a few things that pointed the family to look in Shepherd and look in there.
Yeah. Everybody was crazy about Kirk. I've heard nothing but good things about him. Everybody liked him, thought he was a great guy. And then that's it. We are out of time. We gotta go. I was like, I don't want to go. I want to talk some more about it, but we're out of time. And if we get some more information, we'll do another show on it. Make sure you subscribe. Ring the bell, subscribe, and we'll see you.
Thanks for watching.
All right, see you later. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys. Enjoyed it. Thank you, ladies.
The views expressed on this podcast are personal opinions only. While all attempts are made to present accurate information, it may not be appropriate for your specific circumstances, and information may become outdated over time. Crime Time Podcast does not assume any liability with regard to results based on the use of information provided here. Furthermore, advertisers, commentators, and linked sites are solely responsible for their views and content, which does not necessarily represent the views of Crime Time. We welcome you to download and play the podcast and share with others for personal use. Please acknowledge the Crime Time Podcast as the source of the material. You may not, except with our express written permission, distribute or commercially exploit the content. The information is provided by Crime Time Podcast. We endeavor to keep the information up to date and correct. We make no representations or warranties of any kind, express or implied, about the completeness, accuracy, reliability, suitability, or availability with respect to the website or the information, products, services, or related graphics contained on the website for any purpose. Any reliance you place on such information is therefore strictly at your own risk. Thank you. And by all means, shove a few more words into these paragraphs so that I have to read complicated, comma-placed statements throughout the entire document and then try to record it in one take.